Is diversity, including immigration, a bad thing? Hey, I'm Dr. Nan. I'm a religionist, ancient historian, and mythologist, and I teach in the College of Liberal Arts. So, a lot of questions about our diversity have come up over the last several years, really, including a lot of people who want to see the US be less diverse, more overtly white. Is this a good thing? Well, I guess that depends on what you want. Looking at the historical record, homogeneity of populations, meaning the whole population is basically the same, tends to lead to stagnation and a lack of creativity. We see this in China, we've seen this in Japan, we see this in ancient Greece. We've seen this in multiple other groups where the population doesn't welcome people in. If you want to look at incredibly successful empires across history, you're looking at Rome, might be looking at Assyria, Babylon, the Ottoman Empire, lots of these large empires that made major changes, including massive steps forward, technologically, socially, economically, politically. They all have incredible diversity. Now, whether or not they treated those diverse groups well is a whole other question, but Rome welcomed diversity. The Ottomans welcomed diversity. When we're looking at the caliphates shortly after the death of the Prophet, peace be upon him, we're looking at the Umayyad and the Abbasid empires. And even though the Islamic State would love to have you believe that there was no diversity, that they were all good Muslims, that is not historically the case. They embraced diversity. There were lots of different peoples in those empires that led to their growth, their expansion, the preservation of knowledge, even as the rest of Europe fell into a dark age. When you emphasize homogeneity, everybody thinks the same. Everybody understands the world in the same way. Everybody tries to deal with problems in the same way. It's only when you bring in other ideas, other opinions, other ways of seeing the world that you see, oh, the problem is not as big as you thought it was, and you can go around it, over it, under it, through it, whatever. And maybe it's not even really a problem. Diversity leads to problem solving, evolution, growth. And when we embrace everybody and we give everybody a voice, we only increase our ability to problem solve. Think about the number of brilliant women that were ignored, the number of brilliant people who had perceived handicaps that were ignored, all of the young people that were ignored, all of the brown people, all of the people speaking the wrong language. Well, the wrong language. All of the oppressed peoples had luminaries among them that were ignored. And yet, some of those people from some of those oppressed groups, because they didn't speak the right language, they didn't eat the right food, they came from the wrong region, whatever the problem, some of them got a say. Some of them were able to move their way into the higher echelons of politics, economics, etc., and they got a say. And they contributed to the growth and evolution of great empires. Now, of course, this brings up the problem of colonialism, which is a deep problem throughout history, but that's a different episode. When you're thinking about diversity, stop worrying about whether or not your Wonder Bread is going to remain white and start thinking about the glory of Taco Tuesday, the beauty of Islamic art and architecture, the incredible insight of women. Start thinking about the different ways that different people think that might help us solve problems of equity, climate change, all the people who might help us find a kinder, more loving way forward so that everybody can be seen and heard and every brilliant idea can be evaluated. Until next time, stay curious, keep asking questions, and look for those diverse opinions. There's something to that, and I'll catch you next time.